The massacre that shocked India, 13 protesters gunned down, but their fight for justice is still not over. The Tamil Nadu government ordered the lockdown of Sterlite Copper as a face saver. But now the mining giant, London-listed Vedanta, plans to challenge the permanent shutdown, claiming that they haven't violated the law. The FIR copy accessed by Mirror now reveals that Tuticorin's tehsildars were acting as executive magistrates, and they issued orders to shoot when the mob turned violent. Despite proof of excess in the Tuticorin case, the Tamil Nadu government is yet to order an independent probe. While citizens continue to demand answers, politics over the issue continues. DMK asked for the Chief Minister's resignation.
The motion on Sterlite moved by our leader Mr. M.K. Stalin and our DMK party has not been taken up by the ADMK government. It was not allowed by the speaker.
Newbie Neta Rajni also given a dose of reality. As the residents of Tuticorin continue their fight, Mirror now asks, was the Sterlite Copper shutdown a mere eyewash? The debate begins now.
Where is the justice that was promised to the citizens of Tamil Nadu? It's very interesting that there was an FIR filed by SP Shekhar, Special Deputy Tehsildar Election, who claims that he was the person who issued the order to fire on the citizens. Why is a Deputy Tehsildar giving an order to fire on citizens? He's not even qualified to do so. Where is the justice that was promised to the citizens of Tamil Nadu? Also, the government of Tamil Nadu has put up a notice right now closing this plant, and the notice is so wishy-washy that it is very likely that it has happened twice in the past. It will happen for the third time, that Vedanta will challenge the notice in court and the court will overturn the notice. Life will go back to normal. Is there really justice, or is this just wool being pulled over the ears of the citizens of Tamil Nadu? That's the question we're asking today. Muralidharan, AIA-DMK supporter, C.R. Saraswati, spokesperson with the TTV Dinakaran faction, Sarvanan, spokesperson of DMK, and Henry Thipange is an advocate and senior executive director of People's Watch. Henry will join us shortly. He's been part of this entire protest from the very beginning. Mr. Muralidharan, my first question to you. According to the FIR that has been filed, it was a special duty tehsildar election and a zonal deputy tehsildar who gave the order to fire. This is a gross violation of the rules. These two people are not qualified to issue that order. Nobody below the district magistrate can issue that order. What is happening in Tamil Nadu? On whose orders was this done? Did SP Shekhar take instructions from somebody else? How did this happen?
I don't think so. I'm sure there's a magisterial power empowered to these people who would have definitely given this order. Without magisterial power, I don't think they'll be able to give such an order. So that's one answer. Second is, there's an inquiry commission which is being established, and facts will come out through that. So why should we jump the gun here? And there's an FIR being, filed, which also, claims there are three different antisocial elements whose names have been named, the parties have been named, and that's facts.
Well, this is the interesting thing. Now, while, a very calm Mr. Muralidharan, at this point representing the AIDMK tells us don't jump the gun. The FIR registered by the police themselves says that the team headed by the superintendent of police rushed to the spot and opened fire on the orders of Mr. Kannan. Mr. Kannan is the zonal deputy tehsildar. Mr. Kannan is not allowed to issue those orders. This is a gross violation of protocol. Something has gone horribly wrong. So who was Mr. Kannan taking his instructions from? The management at Sterlite? The state government in Chennai? Who was he taking his instructions from? That's the question you should be asking at this point. And I want to know if Henry can hear me. Henry, unfortunately, we understand one more citizen has died today.
Yes, I'm sad to announce the government of Tamil Nadu doesn't announce these things. They keep this all a secret. This morning, one Bharat, son of Yesudasan, who was on parole, was in 13 years in jail, was on parole, and he was arrested in his brother's house together with his brother's son Selva Sundaram on the 23rd of May in Anna Nagar area. Now, Anna Nagar area is a place which is known for a number of cases of torture and illegal detentions that took place post-police firing. And they were tortured, they were kept in their underwears, there were injuries all over the body. My dear friends who support the government this time don't have sufficient evidence to hide, because this was proved by a judicial magistrate who was able to record all these injuries, and thereafter he was remanded to judicial custody. Now, I am sure there is a superintendent of police who was looking after this area, who should be held responsible for illegal detention, torture, and that torture has caused this death in Palayamkotte Central Jail this morning at 11. The family has refused to receive the body. The representations are going on, and this now makes the toll to 14.
So what you're saying, Henry, what you're saying to my audience right now is that one individual has now died in police custody, and there were injury marks of torture on this person's body.
Proved by a judicial magistrate.
And how old was this individual?
He was 37 years old. 37.
Mr. Mulidan, the police is still destroying whatever peace is left. Are police torturing people in Tuticorin? This is the next step now, to scare and torture people.
Why should they do that? Why should they do that, Faye? Why don't Mr. Henry talk about the 3 political parties and the rioters who have been named in the charge sheet? He's talking about a man who's come out on parole. A man who's come out on parole. Why is he rioting?
Mr. You want me to talk? You invited me now.
Yeah, you talk.
Yeah, please talk. The 144.
Yeah, please talk.
I'm talking to you. The district magistrate's order of 21st on the 144 names a different magistrate responsible for the collectorate. And incidentally, in the FIR, that was orchestrated by the ADGP sitting there, together with his 4 IGs, 2 DIGs, and 15 SPs, have now managed to name a deputy tahsildar. Why a deputy tahsildar? Because all the tahsildars in Tuticorin refused, get me right, Muralidharan, refused that they will never hereafter play the second fiddle to the police and their orders. And that is why it took so long for this FIR to emerge. The FIR, as my good friend Saravanan knows, all FIRs are online. But this FIR was online only after 5 days. It's not yet come online, it's blocked. You and I cannot read it, it's blocked. Now this is the secrecy, Mr. Muralidharan, around your government's functioning there. 144, the collector is not in his headquarters. 144, the tahsildar who is supposed to be on duty in the collectorate is different from the deputy tahsildar. And this FIR emerges late. This is the illegality in your operation here, Mr. Muralidharan.
Well, let me bring in the other 2 guests that we have right now. C.R. Saraswati.
Mr. Henry, why don't you talk about... Mr. Henry, talk about the rioters also. Talk about those 3 parties who indulge in violence. Please talk about that. Why are you not defending them? Please talk. We want to listen to that.
You belong to a political party, I don't.
Please.
Your chief minister said in the floor of the assembly to everybody's surprise, and I don't belong to a DMK, but name the DMK as being the party. Now, listen.
Yes, you are part of the problem, Mr. Henry. You are part of the problem who instigated these riots, Mr. Henry. You might behave like holier than thou, but you are part of the problem. You guys instigated this to riot. As Mr. Rajinikanth said today, without you harming the police, there wouldn't have been a riot. Without you harming the police, there wouldn't have been a riot.
No, hang on, gentlemen. Let's not forget the fact that the FIR filed by the police states very clearly that the order for firing was issued by a deputy tehsildar, and he has absolutely no authority a zonal deputy Tehsildar. He has no authority whatsoever to issue that order. So something horribly went wrong. So Mr. Muralidharan, you can make all kinds of arguments. There were anti-social elements, there were political parties, there were people who were not happy, they were wearing the wrong color outfit. Nothing gives the police, nothing gives the police to open fire in this manner on citizens.
Why are we not talking?
They can be anybody.
Forget the chief minister. What did Mr. Rajinikanth say today? Why did Mr. Rajinikanth say today? You know, he told a journalist very point blank, he said, there are antisocial elements and they are hijacking all the protests and they are the reason for all this.
So, okay, if there are antisocial elements...
What, Mr. Rajinikanth is the Prime Minister of India?
One second, everybody stop shouting. Stop shouting. Saraswati, stop shouting. Mr. Muralidharan, I know that in Tamil Nadu, if Mr. Rajinikanth says something, everybody takes it as the gospel truth, but that's not how it works. Just because he said something does not make it true. Secondly, even if there are anti-social elements, it doesn't change the constitution in Tamil Nadu. It doesn't mean that a Tehsildar can give the order to open fire on citizens. That is inexcusable. There is no excuse that you can offer today that will make that better. C.R. Saraswati, please carry on.
Apart from that, whoever responsible for these riots,
just Mr. Muralidharan, let me answer. Please answer for this. Mr. Muralidharan, 1 minute. Let me finish it, please. He's always pointing Mr. Rajinikanth. This Rajinikanth is the Prime Minister of India. His words are so eligible or so powerful. As what Mr. Henry says, do you think a deputy Tehsildar has a right to ask the police to shoot the people? If he is, let me finish it. If a deputy Tehsildar is having a right to say the police to shoot the people, then why you need a collector? Why you need a minister? Why you need a chief secretary? Why you need a government? In all districts, Deputy Tehsildar can take hold of everything. Why want to you say that the file is with the collector, the file is with the department, the file is with the home secretary? Why? We are telling one thing. We don't want all your inquiry commission with all the retired judges. Our Deputy General Secretary, Mr. Tuticorin MLA, said very clearly in the assembly, if this government, this minority ADMK government is having guts, let them keep CBI inquiry immediately. Let them keep CBI inquiry. What Mr. Rajinikanth is telling, what he knows. He may be in cinema for so long years. Suddenly he is coming to Tuticorin and telling the anti-social elements are there. He is insulting the people of Tuticorin. A 17-year-old girl is an anti-social element. They killed a girl, 17-year-old girl, on the mouth. The Tehsildar said to shoot like that. A young lady with 2 children, the police are shoot at. Mr. Rajinikanth knows it. What Mr. Rajinikanth may support the police, but don't insult the people. If we don't fight, we would have not got the independence of India because of the fighting only.
You also
all right. Stay on point, Mr. Salman.
Father life.
Okay, one second. All right,
not
we understand.
Political things.
All right, we understand. Sarvanan, go ahead, please.
Yeah, see, Faye, you asked again a very pertinent question, whether this Deputy Tehsildar has a right to go ahead. Let's assume that the Deputy Tehsildar is the right person to carry out all these instructions, to give out these instructions. Then why did they transfer the collector and the SP? Because as per their theory, collector has got nothing to do with this. Collector has not done anything. Then why transfer him? So everything, all their stories, all this is cock and bull story which will crumble when a credible investigation takes place. And that is why our party today has submitted a memorandum to the CBI to investigate this issue. This issue can never be investigated by an inquiry commission or by any of these FIRs, these fake FIRs filed by the ADMK government. Now, again you raised another important issue. Let's assume, for the sake of argument, that there were some fringe elements, that there were some anti-social elements. Does that give the right to the police to kill them? If there was some violence or whatever it is the duty of the police to bring them to law, bring them to book, arrest them, put them in jail, prosecute them, punish them. Who gave them the right to kill them in cold blood? That is the whole problem here. This conspiracy extends up to the Chief Minister. The Chief Minister has obtained money from the Sterlite Corporation to curb the protests. These killings have been ordered. It's a hit job. It's a mafia job by the ADMK government.
Well, I have another question for the ADMK.
Can I come in now?
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, Faye. 1 month ago,
few political parties got together. They wanted to impeach the Chief Justice. Now we have political parties in Tamil Nadu who want to blame the police square, and they want to punish them.
Two completely
Now, there's something called sanctity in a nation like India. You know, they are related, because once you start suspecting the judiciary, there's no justice anymore. Similarly, once you start beating up cops, there is no law and order after that, my dear. There is no law and order. What are we doing? You know, we are telling people, you can protest, you can beat up the cops, you can set fire to people's, houses, you can, burn, trucks. Then after that, everything is okay, but don't shoot the people. Who asked people to get into such a rioting, environment?
No, see,
Why
Mr.
did they instigate all this? Why did they join with rogue elements?
You're making a very eloquent argument, but unfortunately,
Yes.
you cannot make an eloquent argument against the actual rules that the police have to follow. The police have to follow certain rules, and the police in this
Rules
case
will go through the
broke all
window,
those
Faye.
rules.
Rules will go through the window.
No, rules will not go through the window.
Rules
That's
will
what
go
the
through
rules
the
are there
window
for.
when you
That's
have
what the
100
protocol. I'm
people
sorry,
from a
I don't know which
raging
country
mob.
you live in,
That
but
is
in
what
our
the
country
AMK
there is a
follows.
protocol that
Close
needs
the
to be
window,
followed.
the window.
And what you're saying is,
Follow anarchy.
so what are you saying? Tell me what you're saying. That the police will not follow rules in Tamil
You
Nadu.
can follow anarchy, but you're going to punish a thief. If you can follow anarchy, you are catching a thief. You are handling petty things. This is not petty thing. You have a raging mob of 23,000 people.
And there is a
coming at you.
protocol on
What
how
would
to
you do
handle
if
a
you are
raging
standing
mob.
behind Mr. Saronan?
There is a
This
protocol
really
on how to
defend
handle a
yourself.
raging
Why
mob.
Are we in a
Waving the
democracy
white
or in a
flag.
banana republic where every
So one second. So effectively,
You are making a banana republic.
No,
By
effectively, Mr.
questioning the
Muralidharan,
judiciary,
you're
by
issuing a
questioning
threat
the
to
law
the
for
citizens of
enforcing
Tamil
authority.
Nadu right
You are
now.
making a banana
No,
republic.
one second,
That
Mr.
is what
Muralidharan.
we don't want.
Mr. Muralidharan, you are currently
This is
issuing...
not West Bengal. This is not West Bengal.
Oh, come on. You are issuing a threat to the citizens of Tamil Nadu. You are saying that the police in Tamil Nadu are not going to follow any of the rules. If you come at us, we will shoot you. So this is, what is this? What country is this? Is this Syria? What country are you learning your tricks from? Because this is not India. This is not how we do it in India.
Faye. If there is,
We don't shoot our
nonsense
citizens.
happening, if you let it continue, Tamil Nadu will become a West Bengal. You know what happened in West Bengal, elections. You don't want Tamil Nadu to become that.
Tamil Nadu will be Tamil Nadu if you actually function like a government, which you are not doing.
Tamil Nadu was always peaceful till the time these fringe elements took over. Tamil Nadu was always peaceful
apparently
till
it
the time
seems
the
like
fringe elements took
the
over, till
AIADMK
Mr.
can do
Stalin
nothing
came to
more
power.
than make excuses for the fact that you are not able to do your job. If you were able to do your job, you wouldn't
They
be
are not.
sitting here making excuses.
not.
You are unable to do your job. And that's why you're blaming fringe elements and you're blaming somebody
don't-
else.
I don't
You
think
should be
anybody
able to
is making
handle the
excuses
fringe
here.
elements. That is your job. You should have been able to close the roads going to
Yes.
We don't
Tuticorin
want
that day,
another Kashmir.
not allowing
We don't
anybody
want
to come
another
in.
West Bengal.
How did anybody get into the city with what you call deadly weapons in the FIR? Where was the police? Where was the intelligence? If Section 144 was actually fully enforced, how did 5,000 people get into a small place like Tuticorin? You're not even investigating these things. You allowed it to get out of hand.
Exactly. Yes, they got in with a garb. They got in with a garb. They got in with a garb. Now, discussing that, we will be discussing, communal issues. We don't want that to happen. That's also a reason why the Chief Minister is silent. You will have to understand.
Chief Minister
Tamil
is
Nadu has
silent
been
because he has
peaceful all
nothing
this
to
while.
say.
We don't want to polarize things.
The Chief
We
Minister
don't
is
want to make
silent
things
because he has
communal.
nothing to say. He avoided Tuticorin for
Chief
3
Minister
days.
can't
And then
open
when he
his
said
mouth.
something, it was woefully inadequate. But let me read out another piece of evidence here. Viewers, listen to this. This was put out on the 28th of this month. This is the notice for the formal closure of the plant. It says, and this is from the government, Principal Secretary to the government, it says, it's brought to the notice of the government of Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board did not renew the consent to operate of this plant. It goes on to name the plant. Subsequently, Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board has issued directions for closure of this plant on the 24th. Under that article, that the state shall endeavour to protect the environment, the state now issues a closure direction to seal the unit and close it permanently. Now, if your pollution control board had not given consent, why did you wait until 14 people died before you closed the plant? Why wasn't this done before that?
No, it was sealing the plant. Let me correct you.
Correct,
The
please.
plant was not operational for 1 month. It was shut on the April, I think it's on the 10th.
So why
or
didn't you
18th, it was
seal
shut.
it
Ever
1
since
month
the plant
in
was
advance?
not
Why didn't you
operational.
seal it
They
as
have a
soon as...
claim.
Why didn't you seal it?
Exactly. Let me answer that. Let me answer that. People are getting angry. 150 people are going in and out because there was maintenance happening. So people didn't like it. So that's the reason government went and sealed it so that nobody could go inside. Now, government has played to the popular sentiment of the people of Tuticorin. Now, you can debate all this, Faye, but there are 35,000 people are going to go jobless in Tamil Nadu.
And that is your fault. Let me point out to you.
Index of 3
that
in
is
the
your
state,
fault.
in the state, they're going to go down to, no, it's not our
And
fault.
that is your fault.
How could you say it's our fault?
I'll tell you.
DMK,
If you stop talking, I'll explain to you how it's your fault.
Because it's a 20-year-old problem.
Okay.
This is a 20-year-old problem.
Let me explain. Please let me explain to you how it is your fault.
This is law.
Please let me explain to you how it is your fault.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
You allowed a plant to function under your jurisdiction and regime, and you're absolutely right. It's a 20-year problem that the DMK started, and perhaps another before that and another before that. But this current government should have shut it down as soon as they found out, and they did not. If you had done it the right way, you could have actually forced the company to one second. You're not letting me talk. You could have told the company to pay compensation, which you did not. But let's not get into that. Let me point out the fact that you, the government of Tamil Nadu, in your own order, you have said the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board did not renew the consent to Vedanta Limited copper smelting plant, Tuticorin district, in its order dated 9th April 2018. 9th April 2018, the consent from the Pollution Control Board to this plant expired. Why didn't you seal it the next day? Why did you wait until 14 people were dead and this entire mess happened before you sealed it? Why didn't you seal it the next day? Because according to this order, all that it says is that Pollution Control Board has not given a consent, so we are sealing it. You could have done this on the 10th of April. Why did you wait until the end of May?
Yes. On what? On the consent parameters. What were the parameters? The license was not renewed. Did you go into that? Please go into that.
I'm
Those
reading
can
your
be
order.
Correctable. Those are correctable.
Let me point out to you, this order is so wishy-washy because it will be contested in court by Vedanta, and the state prosecution will roll over and allow Vedanta to overthrow this in court because it's so weakly worded that it will be very difficult to defend in court. And Vedanta will come back like it has done thrice in the past and open it the next day, because you cannot hold up this terrible order in court, because you've done a terrible job and you've done it on purpose, because you want Vedanta to win in court, and then you'll turn around and say the court allowed.
Let me explain you.
Go on.
Let me explain you this. From 2008, there is not a single white paper which says the plant is polluting. 2013 to 18, there's nothing, no accidents at all.
So why has the Pollution Control Board not given? Why has? Okay, all right. Fair enough. Argue with yourself now. Why has the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board not given consent for this plant? Then pollution control. I'm reading your order. Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board has not renewed consent.
That is happened in.
Why?
That is.
Why?
That is in 2018.
Why?
18th February. April 9th. From 10th onwards, the plant was shut. The plant was shut from 10th onwards, April 10th.
For what reason?
Why? Because they would have found some reason. Yes, okay, the pollution levels are higher, so we are not renewing the license. This is what they have given. Now, if it's contested, it will go just like your 2013 verdict of Supreme Court, which will overrule everything and saying that, please go ahead and start production. 2010, Madras High Court also banned based on Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board.
How much money has been paid to the government of Tamil Nadu to support this plant?
1,400 crores they are paying taxes, say. 1,400 crores they are paying in taxes.
What about the black money that has gone individually to politicians to support this plant? What about the money that's gone individually to politicians?
Do you have record of that?
I'm asking you, you are representing. Tell me flatly that it's not happening.
You have only record. Yeah, I'll tell you. You have record. You have ADR record on they are giving funds to BJP and Congress. You have no reports on ADMK or DMK. So let's not pull everybody here. Let's understand the fact here. 2008 they had one document. After that, NERI, which is the National Environment and Engineering Research Institute, did not give any bad report. That's from Nagpur. That's not even from Tamil Nadu. They were given 1.4 crores to do the study. They did a detailed study. That's why again and again Vendetta won. Vedanta won the case again and again because there was no substantial evidence. One more thing I'll tell you.
Or
This is
Vedanta
not
won the case again and
mining
again because
plant.
the government
This is
of
a
Tamil Nadu
processing
put up
plant.
such a weak fight. I've run out of time right now, but I just want to point out and put everything
No,
in a
not at all.
nutshell
No, not
for
at
my
all.
viewers. According to the FIR filed by the police in Tamil Nadu, it was a zonal deputy tehsildar, Mr. Khandan, who gave the order to fire on citizens. A zonal deputy tehsildar has absolutely no authority to issue that order. Also, if that's the case, why was it that the district magistrate or the collector was transferred from that district if it was a zonal deputy tehsildar who gave the order? It's very, very grey and something has gone horribly wrong there. Secondly, the notice that has been put by the government of Tamil Nadu on that factory to seal it permanently is really wishy-washy. It says basically that the Pollution Control Board did not renew the consent for the functioning of this plant on the 9th of April. And so, therefore, we are now going to seal it, which means that you could have just as well sealed it on the 10th of April and none of this would have happened. The government is only reacting to the 14 people who have died, one of who has now died in police custody. This is such a wishy-washy, such a loosely worded closure notice that it's going to be obviously contested in court, and it's very likely that the government of Tamil Nadu will lose that contest. And then Vedanta will reopen its plant like it has done twice in the past before. Is the government of Tamil Nadu giving this company a free ride? Who was the police taking instructions from? Because it certainly wasn't following protocol. This deserves an investigation of the highest order, an investigation that cannot be tampered with by the government of Karnataka. We'll keep an eye on this story for you. Thanks for watching.